So you told everybody you weren't going to summit Whitney because you didn't want to come across as a parent that would ever push a kid too hard.
That's right.
And then you proceed to do training hikes and you push Joey to the breaking point every time.
Right. And then get mad at him for underperforming.
So talk about some of that. Like, did this happen a bunch of times? Did it happen once? Was it?
So, it was an amazing learning curve. So initially, he consistently cried, which he probably wouldn't want me to tell you.
Right.
But
he was 10, disclaimer.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
It's okay.
But what I saw is weakness for some reason. And honestly, it's just weird to me to think why I had that reaction, because my dad, he was that way with my brother, but he was definitely not that way with me. Mm-hmm. But for whatever reason, it came across as weakness, and I think fear that I'm pushing him too hard, but however I responded to it. And as we continued doing hikes, there kept being this moment in time where he would cry. And the first several weeks I was trying to fix that. Like, okay, you gotta not cry, you've gotta man up, you've gotta push through. And I don't think it was until on Whitney that I realized that was his actual mechanism through which he released the stress and was able to proceed. And it just was how he was built, like, right. The tension would build up. And so through Whitney and through all of the training hikes, I kept running into that. And then I was well aware on Kili of that, and I understood it completely. And there was this just beautiful moment in time where he had reached that point, and it was summit night. It was about 3 a.m, and he was having feet problems, and he threw up his Skittles. And the foundational challenge he was having was Brittany was doing better than him, frankly, right? Mm-hmm. And I could just see the anxiety building up in him, and it was how hiking works. It's about mental, not physical most of the time.
Right.
So I honestly could see the pictures in his head of Brittany making it and him not, right? After, it'd been a couple years of
right.
building up this goal, and him telling his buddies that he was the mountaineer, and that was kind of all framed in his social group. And then here's this moment in time where he's looking at it going, I got to go back to, middle school and tell these guys, yeah, my kid sister did it, but I didn't. So anyways, I could see all this building up in him, and I literally went over and hugged him and said, I actually coaxed him to cry, and I said, you got to just get it out, Joey, just let it out and get through that tension point. And then I talked through with him that, we'll either do this as a family or not. And you could just see him just have a sigh of relief and realize that.
Because you were going to stop Brittany from going up.
Yeah, no, exactly. And that was true. I would have. I mean, I think it was a family goal, and it was, it was first his goal, then ours.
Right. Is that one of the best ways you've learned to become a better father?
Yeah, absolutely. I think mountaineering on so many levels has just transformed who I am and how I parent, how I run business, everything I do, how I am as a husband. I think the most fundamental or elemental thing of mountaineering is it makes you be here now, like be right in this point of the hike, experiencing this. That was the foundational place where I learned, okay, just make the next goal. Like Whitney wasn't at all about summiting because it wasn't really the goal. Mm-hmm. Each goal was, make it to Lone Pine Lake, make it to, whatever the next point was. And then we found ourselves up on the high crest, and we could see the summit. And my brother had this really poignant, it was several poignant things my brother brought to that, but we were probably 45 minutes from summiting, and Joey was literally taking 3 or 4 steps and then resting. And I was in full proud dad mode. I luckily, was just like pouring on Joey that I can't believe you're this far and you can turn around anytime, and so proud of you. And my brother was cognizant enough to say, if we stop now, it's going to be a lot harder to get all the way down than if he has the experience of summiting and can ride from that high. Nick, he kind of took me aside and explained that to me. And it really transformed what I knew I had to do for Joey right then was help him get to that goal for the energy and value that would give him.
So that he could make it down.
So that he could make it down, because being naive and new at mountaineering, I didn't think about the return trip. And that's a huge mountaineering mistake that costs people lives, for sure. But so yeah, that piece of it, getting to that point and then getting through that point to the summit and seeing, I'll forever remember Joey just going, a couple of steps and stopping, a couple of steps and stopping. And then we were within a couple of 100 yards and he just like literally bolted. And he just was filled with all the energy of success. It was really cool. And I really remember this moment in time, and I do have the picture of it, where we're walking back down the mountain and he's got his backpack on and he's got his little stuffed bear in the backpack, and the bear's looking back this way. And I'm looking over Joe's shoulder, and I realized that there's something huge on the horizon. Like, I just emotionally and I think spiritually, I knew this has spawned something much greater than what we've just done.